So here comes game two, once again, of Skylimitz versus Sandy. The first one ended abruptly with a disconnect. A very unfortunate disconnect. But it's back. It's the same day, and we can continue where we left off. That ride tells me that this match is going to be a little bit better for Sandy if she makes adjustments. Up, and the critical says otherwise. The critical says otherwise. There's Sabahime again. Okay, this game is looking a lot like game one in Sandy's case. Like she's doing a lot of the stuff she did in game one. And Angelica was in that soul and two perfect guards, so she probably won't be perfect guarding this game. Draw trigger. But that also means that she just drove check Minerva. She technically doesn't have to. She technically could go straight into Minerva if she damn well pleased. Starting with the Interceptor and then going for the Vanguard. Needs 10k to guard, and she drove check a grade 3 last turn. So she's not going to guard. And now here come the skills. Morganrot, which gets a perfect guard. And then gets the unflip and then the reflip to restand Mars, and Mars can attack Side Behemoth for 14k. And he decides not to do that part. Probably because he knows Minerva is right there. And if Sandy chose to, she could have just played it. Sandy is actually really behind right now, because the hand difference is amazing. He early guards what he can, and then no guards the Vanguard. If a critical comes, it might be... Ooh. I was actually about to say it might be really bad for Sandy, but a heal trigger came with it, so that balanced out. So it depends on what Skylimit's hand is. He double mulliganed. Okay, there's a Stern. So that's hitting for 16k to the Vanguard, and he can use the skill to counterblast 2, discard 2, and restand it as long as it hits the Vanguard. It's not Galaxy where it gets the limit break of whatever hits, it gets that. Up, critical, all the Vanguard. And there's Galaxy. There's another heal trigger. And a critical trigger. So right now the Vanguard is the only thing that can hit anything. He uses Morganrot first. No blows come from it, but his one drive check wasn't going to be a trigger, so it's actually good that he did that. Because the shuffle gives him a better chance to trigger in this next drive check if he does the blow, which he kind of has to do the blow or end his turn. Yeah, he's doing it. Like literally, with the situation, he has to either blow or end his turn because these two can't hit anymore. If blow stands, it can hit and it will force a guard because +1 critical. She'll probably drop a 10k to no pass it, and there you go. Which means gets a trigger and can give that power to something, and then that can hit the rear, which dies. So if she has Minerva in hand, she doesn't have any Witch of Birds. So that means she can't get her front row from that. She can get one unit here to the back row from that, but she's not in a situation where that's going to help. He got a perfect guard in the last Morganrot check, and he's got more than enough guard otherwise besides that, so... And we know he's got Galaxy. It depends on what happens in this upcoming turn. She's going in. She knows that this is her last chance. I can imagine the... Oh, wait. She has just the one. Minerva might be, he might be forced to take a Minerva hit because this is 33, and then the next one is also going to be 33. So she's been critting a lot, so the chances of her getting one now are low. And she didn't. Heal trigger. Sky gets the heal and plus 5 cases of Vanguard, meaning that the rear guards are not going to be as difficult to guard against. Really good for Skylimitz. Really good for him. And Sandy's going to limit break because this is pretty much her last stand. She knows that Galaxy is in hand. Okay, so she's going to use Cinnamon first before the break ride, probably because she's going to want to try to increase the amount of cards. And oh, I see why. Because she wants to use Melissa, put it behind Vanguard for a Counterblast 1, so that she can get this next attack boosted as well. He has a perfect guard in hand, so it technically doesn't matter. But it's good to force it out. Then again, it would be forced out anyway. And it literally doesn't matter. Because that's 40k to the Vanguard, perfect guarded. That was a perfect guard for the future. And yeah, to be honest, Skylimitz did kind of rush that, but at the same time, it was because the way that Sandy did that kind of made it look like she was trying to attack with the Vanguard. Oh, she forgot to discard 3 for Minerva. So she's doing that now. Did she counterblast for Minerva? Because you have to counterblast for Cinnamon. I don't think she counterblasted for Minerva. And whatever this hits, he can just let it go. Whatever that attacks, he can just let it go. He doesn't have to give up the guard. It takes the guard, Jupiter. She's attacking Vanguard, by the way. It didn't blink, but she's just attacking Vanguard. Okay. So he thought the exact same thing I did, that she didn't counterblast. She either didn't counterblast from Melissa or didn't counterblast from Minerva. Either way, she was due to give one counterblast, and it happened. So, moving on. That is a weird decision. I know what he wants to do, but he absolutely doesn't need to push it to that point. Then again, I don't think he has boosters, so the rear guards wouldn't be able to get much out of that. So she's no passing that just for the insurance, I guess. That one move might have cost Sky the game. I honestly would say if he went full force with Blau, there's a chance that she would have had to take a hit. But at the same time, he's stopping her from going full force as well. So we have to see. He still technically has an advantage, especially because he can afford a hit thanks to the heal trigger last turn. So we have to see. We have to see. 1. Ballsy, but it worked. So is Sandy prepared to drop her in almost her entire hand and get rid of all of her soul except for the break ride? Okay, so she is officially going for broke at this point. Minerva won't be able to limit break again. She can't get enough soul for it. And she's not going to And she doesn't have a lot of hand to guard next turn either. That's one. And that's two. And now Sandy has to think really, really hard about what to do here. Because if she gives it to Vanguard and hits it, she can win. If she gives it to Vanguard and doesn't get it, he can afford to take a damage. And if she gives it to rear guard and he has guard for it, then it would be a waste. She didn't get it. So technically she made the right choice. That seems to be going for Vanguard, and he takes it. He did the right thing. He waited a second to see if that's really was her target, and it was. Attacking the Vanguard in that sense was probably the worst thing she possibly could have done, because with 3 counterblasts he can do his ability full force. And now he has full power to just go in. Just go in. He doesn't have any more hand, but it doesn't matter. He's going in. I think that was her last counterblast. That's 23, 33. That's a 1 pass. And it didn't matter. Didn't get it regardless. So she has 5k for that. Yeah, and then this can't hit. She has enough Regalia cards in drop zone to end this. I have a feeling if he had gotten at least one trigger in that last twin drive and given it to Galaxy, he could have ended the match. I just get that feeling. This match in the end just came down to Galaxy couldn't hit Minerva. That's all it is. He has to no guard that. If a 6th heal comes up, it would be the greatest thing. But no, it's a draw trigger. Good game. Now we have a game 3.